Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Libra January 14, 2023. Mars turns direct today after retrograde motion since late October. While Mars was retrograde in recent months, you may have explored frustrations and deeply buried matters. Ideally, you've found better tools for managing your life on an emotional level. Retrogrades are about taking a second look at things, and this can be an opportunity or a blessing in disguise. Now and in the coming weeks, you're clearer about what you want, and you don't feel quite so tortured by, or tied to, your past. Especially after Mercury also turns direct on the 18th, you'll feel more in the loop. Financial complexities begin to unravel this week, and dealings with a partner or with financial institutions become more straightforward after a feeling of treading water. While it's not yet the time for quick settlements or bold moves, you'll appreciate a more direct approach to these matters, and life, in general. Energy and direction improve in the coming weeks. Use the period ahead to face problems directly and courageously, but ease back into action. You will notice a sharp shift in the cosmos today. This is because mighty Mars, your planetary co-ruler, will freeze within the heavens like a lantern before taking flight. Since Halloween, you've been caught in an intense karmic cycle around relationships, especially around matters of sex, conflict, and how you communicate. This is all due to the Mars retrograde in Gemini. Luckily, with your planetary co-ruler now rising from his ashes, energy and progress will return to your life once again, but expect a sluggish pace until March. By then, you'll finally know exactly what was meant to go or stay. Take a step back to consider what you want or need in your work and life balance. You may need to take a stance with what you will commit to having the ideal schedule or routine when Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries. But you will need to move past any self-imposed limitations with what you want to do. Making this call could be empowering since it will give you greater control over how you want to invest your time, money, and energy when Mars stations direct in Gemini later today. After 2.5 months in retrograde motion, Mars turns direct today, ending his longest retrograde phase in your financial sector in 8 decades. While still at a standstill, the warrior planet of the cosmos is now looking to the future rather than the past. This is going to give this new financial year and his financial passions and fighting spirit the green light. Every once in a while, you need to get out of the house at night and really have a good time with friends. Unfortunately, partying with friends is not considered an essential service during this time. You'll have to get creative: virtual karaoke parties, video dance parties, or even holding a silent disco in your living room, so as not to drive your neighbors insane, are all things you can try. To really make the most of these occasions, consider the big picture and recognize the little things that really make a difference to your health. Drinking plenty of water will keep your body relaxed and ready to release the tension that's invariably been building for weeks now. Today you will find the most creative methods to make financial gains in your life. It may occur through a new business venture, or just by running across that old schoolmate and striking up a conversation. Stay alert, for you do not want to miss this moment. If you do, it may be a very long time before opportunity chooses to knock upon your door again. During this day, you need to be ready to seize the moment. A day after Eris turned direct in your work sector, and as she and Jupiter are now looking to the future, Mars turns direct in your financial sector today. As well as giving money matters the green light, just as you are now looking to the future rather than the past on the job front, there is a chance to do the same on the financial front. Just 2 more planets remain in retrograde motion, and they will both turn direct in the next 10 days, one on the communication and the other on the relationship front. Until then, they are working together to give your relationships, the past and unsaid words, a voice. 2 of the 4 planets that began the year in retrograde motion have either turned direct yesterday or will turn direct today, giving job and money matters the green light. The 2 planets that will remain in retrograde motion are Mercury and Uranus, and with one in your communication and the other in your relationship sector, they will keep working to keep the communication lines and the doors to the past open. Our eyes in the sky. Action planet Mars turns direct in Gemini this afternoon, ending the retrograde story that began on October 30, 2022. We could feel a bit frustrated and out of sorts as Mars begins to wind down from its planetary moonwalk. However, we're just feeling the tail end of drama that we've been dealing with for months. Our energy can now be restored and revived for the first time in a long while. You find work-related issues easy to handle, and using your alert and active mind you apply fresh impetus to projects that require concentrated team effort. You encounter very few obstacles in your personal life. Whatever you choose to focus your attention on, others are enthused by your innovative approach and appreciate the concerted effort you make. Your ability to understand any situation is good, and you're able to undertake any sort of mental task. Equally, you're communicating without any difficulty, so possible negotiations or similar conversations turn out to be successful. You also find your general level of curiosity is heightened, and you're keen to acquire knowledge and learn as much as you can. If you enjoy buying yourself something new, go ahead and do it. You have the means to do so, and it's about time you treated yourself. Your finances allow you to make a small investment, and you are sensible enough not to overspend. Get out and strut your stuff. Feeling attractive, you're easily persuaded to make the most of your looks with a visit to the hairdresser or the health club. You're amazed at the transformation. Feeling even more appealing, when you meet up with others your attractiveness shines through. You're aware how people notice you. It's not your imagination. Mid-morning, Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, helping to heal our hearts. Today's interactions stimulate reminders of wounds experienced in past relationships. It may not be a romantic wound, but a platonic one. Perhaps the betrayal of a friend, or being ostracized from a social circle. Yet today, the trigger feels softer. The lessons imparted are gentler. We might find ourselves entrenched in a similar dynamic with a friend who keeps us on the outs. Yet we can see that this is not the kind of alliance we wish to have in our lives. Alternatively, it may be that we are now part of the in crowd. We can welcome someone into our sphere and thus repair some of the karmic damage we incurred in our youth. Intensify contacts to people, because they find you particularly likable right now. Plan your leisure time with family and good friends, and most importantly, make your plans together. You might feel like ringing up an old friend. The time is perfect to revive and strengthen old ties. This will make it easy for you to make new contacts and maybe even lifelong friendships. In the early afternoon, Mars stations direct after nearly 2.5 months of being retrograde. During this time, we have had to contest with stalled projects, low libidos, weakened immune systems, and an inability to achieve progress in the causes that are important to us. Finally, these issues start to fall away as Mars begins its forward march. Take a mental inventory of the past few months and note lessons learned. We may have discovered that we were putting our energy behind work initiatives or relationships that were not worth the effort. Having received a clearer picture, we can proceed in the arenas where our actions are able to make a real impact.